So I wanted to talk a little bit about story creation. This idea was largely inspired by my D&D campaign. I had a really thin outline of a plot. The idea was these elder gods, elemental gods, were put to sleep some millennia ago, and the characters in my campaign have to either kill them off once and for all, or reawaken them and do cosmic things in the D&D world that I've made up. So I was trying to flesh out this plotline because it was like one big dot. Kind of the climax of the story was fully killing or reawakening one or more of these gods. But yeah, so I wanted to give more than that because I had this random starting point of finding this statue, a small, like a figurine, like a dragon figurine, the size of a small cat, not a full-on statue. That's the start of my story, basically, where somebody in the first town says, "Hey, will you go get this thingy for me?" Characters don't know why exactly, but that's where the ball starts rolling, as they say. But I needed a whole lot more between that random starting point and this random god-killing / awakening point, and so I worked it backwards. It was interesting this experience was to work it backwards. The gods are going to be awakened, and so I asked myself, all right, how are they going to be awakened? Or at least where are they? And so then the next step down was they're asleep in some alternate dimensions. I was like, cool, all right. Let me keep working backwards. What's the step right before that? Obviously, the characters, the players of this campaign have to get to those dimensions. And I was thinking, all right, let's make up a portal. And so again, I asked myself, all right, what's the step that has to happen right before that? The plot step of sorts. And so you need to unlock these portals somehow. They needed keys or coordinates. Next question was, all right, how did they get these keys or coordinates? And I thought, all right, they have to go to each extremity of the map to find the keys or coordinates. And then I was thinking, all right, how do they access these keys? And I was thinking, well, that's why, there it is. That's why they need this statue, this dragon statue. The dragon figurine thing will open these chests. And then I was thinking, all right, well, what happens before that? Why can't they just go straight from this dragon figurine to opening chests and move on with their lives? I was like, well, and obviously I'm making it up as I go in the game. These are things I've envisioned now and written down, taking some notes. But I was thinking at the time, well, it's got to be a little bit more than just, here's the statue, plug it in, chests open, tally-ho. It is kind of like busy work, but it's fun, sort of puzzling. Not puzzling, maybe it is puzzling, but I wanted to have some puzzle elements where the characters, the players of my campaign, have to think oh, we got to pull all these pieces together. So then I thought, right before the opening these chests that contain these magical keys to unlock the portal to get to these gods, the dragon figurine has to be charged up by 4 dragon breaths. In D&D, there are dragons who have different types of breath. There's fire breath and ice breath and lightning breath. So I thought, then there are a few more. And then just needed 4 elements, I figured, to charge up this statue. So yeah, that's just my personal sample that I implemented in my D&D campaign to try and give myself some more material to work with, stuff around which I can wrap some quests. But the idea actually surprised me as I was working through this, and I was thinking of writing literature in general, or maybe even creating other kinds of materials, but obviously the starting point for me, writing stories, D&D campaign of course included, but also just books and stuff. Thinking of what's the climax that I want my readers in the book, or my players to experience, and then how do I keep on explaining the step right before that? What has to happen to get to that point? I don't have a book example right now, but maybe you could give it a try, and maybe you've imagined a story. I would love to hear some of the ideas that are floating around in your brain. Maybe try this experiment of starting at your climax of a story event and asking yourself backwards how you got there. What's the step right before that took you to that? Yeah, that's it. Just wanted to share some story creation ideas. Maybe they'll just intrigue you, but maybe they'll foster your story along in its formation. Either way, I'd love to hear what you think. That's it.